Disclaimer, this gun does not have any BBs in it. Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the VFC HK MP5 A4, upgraded by us, Umbrella Armory. This one, we worked out the entire internals. There's a lot of things special inside, but before we get into that, let's go talk about the externals a little bit. So first, being an A4 design, we have the full stock, which that's where your battery is going to be. The lower receiver and the stock, of course, is going to be made out of polymer. However, it's extremely heavy duty and tanky. There's almost no wiggle to this gun. We have ambidextrous fire controls on both sides, of course. We have a paddle release, mag release, as well as a button that honestly no one can ever press. The top receiver is going to be of metal construction. We have the charging handle, of course, which you can adjust your hop up inside. And of course, the HK slab. The front, you're going to have a polymer handguard, which is interchangeable to any mil-spec MP5 handguard. As such, super easy to do. You can fit the Midwest Industries handguard. And for the pin, if you guys didn't know, you can actually just stick it in the back. So these holes are intended so that you can hold your pins in. So this is true for both the handguard pins as well as the stock pin itself. So make sure you use those and so you don't lose them. Stick that back in. Okay, and as for the front, we have a 14mm negative threaded tri-lug MP5 flash hider. You do have to be careful with the threads on here. If you stick on a suppressor too long and bump into something, it does cause a lot of stress on the threads here. So just so you guys know, stick to a shorter one or be careful and try not to muzzle strike too many things. What else? Oh yeah, we also have adjustable castle rear sight. On the top, you can also use any HK style claw mounts to add on a rail and put on any optic that you would want. And of course a hooded front sight. On the other side of the gun, we do have 3 areas to put on a sling point. You have the front sling loop, you have one towards the center of the gun, and you also have it on the stock as well. Next, we'll go a deep dive on the internals. Alright, we're gonna disassemble this. Cue the warp speed. Okay, we got the gearbox open now from the VFC MP5, and as you can see, we're using a Retro Arms 8mm gearbox shell. It does have our Umbrella Armory J-cage bearings. Starting from the compression, we're using a max model 19.5mm air nozzle. That seems to get us great compression as well as reliable feeding as well. It is double O-ring, so compression is amazing. We have a Lonex V2 cylinder head, double O-ring of course, and aluminum. A steel 3/4 cylinder, along with a garter tappet plate that is modified for a DSG cut, as well as the SHS piston with a Lonex palm piston head. Full steel tooth, of course. extremely reliable. A gate MOSFET. And 20-to-1 SeachTech gears. We did short circuit one just to get it right below the 350 FPS mark. And the spring is a Garter SP150 spring. On the trigger, you'll notice that we added a 3D printed block. This actually helps us add a trigger stop to the gun. So it limits the travel. Otherwise, this thing would go super far back. We have a modified ARL along with some foam padding that we added just to keep the wires down and away from the pinion gear as well. Now moving on to some of the other components in the gun, we do have a warhead brushless motor. It is the 36K speed variant, which is, they call it the high speed motor. And that is what is powering our gun. Moving on to the barrel, we do have a Prometheus barrel in here that is lapped as well as R-hopped as well. We do have our custom 3D printed hop-up arm, and we will take this apart and show you the insides. Okay, now with the barrel assembly disassembled, we have the stock hop-up unit with some add-ons as well. So we have it with the C-clip. We have our 3D printed flat hop arm. And it does say VFC MP5 on it with our logo. We have a Prometheus Type 4 inner barrel that is lapped and R-hopped. So we started incorporating lapping procedures with all of our barrels in guns. And we usually get about a 5 FPS improvement with all of them, and the accuracy improves as well. And we have our tried and tested Mad Bull Blue bucking, and these are just all the other screws and the hop-up adjustment arm. That concludes our overview on the barrel assembly.
It's duck hunting season.